and Oregon have just gotten underway. I had to reset from a prior game I was doing, so we are underway 3-3, Gonzaga and Oregon. Oregon with the ball out here. Game here in Portland. That ball knocked away. Oregon gets to the loose ball. The turnaround jumper is short. Rebound to Gonzaga. Gonzaga almost turns it over here. Now they do turn it over. Back comes Oregon the other way. Three-pointer, no good, and that will go the other way. Gonzaga starting five: Emmanuel Innocenti, Braden Huff, Graham Ike, Mario Saint-Superi, and Steele Venters. Five on the floor for Oregon. The starters: Sean Stewart, Kwame Evans Jr., Nate Biddle, Takai Simpkins, and Jackson Shelstad. The five on the floor. Gonzaga bringing up the floor, minute and a half in. Gonzaga ranked number 7 in this week's AP poll, 11-1 on the year. Oregon comes in at 6-5. Turnaround in the paint. The right-hand hook is good. Braden Huff with all 5 points for Gonzaga, and the Bulldogs lead 5-3. Oregon back with it here. Kwame Evans Jr. finds the jumper in the corner. That's good. That's Desdrick Lindsay with a long two-pointer to tie the game at 5. Huff with it for Gonzaga. On the outside now, Saint-Superi. Back over it goes to Huff. Huff trying to back his way inside. We're 2.5 in. Huff almost loses it. Now draws a double team and has the shot rejected. Back comes Oregon the other way. And backing it out and slowing up the pace here. Shelstad. Ducks work it around the arc. 10 to shoot. In the corner. Shot clock at 5. Oregon's going to have to put something up here. Going to have to launch, and the shot goes in as the shot clock expired. And Oregon has the lead. And a three-pointer at the other end, no good. One-handed rebound for Nate Biddle of Oregon. Open three-pointer, round and out. And a foul underneath, a loose ball foul on the rebound on Gonzaga. Going to get Braden Huff for the foul. That's his first. Oregon to inbound. Simpkins with it. Evans Jr. drives inside and dunks it down. Kwame Evans Jr. with his first 2 points. It's 9-5 Oregon. With it on the outside for Gonzaga is Venters. Bounce pass inside. Now a double team outside for an open three for Venters. It's good. Steele Venters got the open three after Oregon went with a double team underneath, and it's 9-8 Oregon. 4:15 into this one. And a turnover. Back the other way comes Gonzaga. Venters with it, and now gets cut off. And looks for help, gives the bounce pass underneath. Against a double team, shot rejected. That's the second block for Nate Biddle. An open three in the corner, around and out. Rebound Gonzaga. Gonzaga looking for the lead back this possession as we're nearly 5 minutes in. And they'll try a three-point shot in, hitting a three. Back-to-back threes for Gonzaga. 11-9 at the other end. A quick three, no good. And the Bulldogs pull down the rebound. Turnaround jumper inside for Huff is no good. Rebound pulled down by Oregon. Fast pace here early on between these two teams. Biddle with it for Oregon. He'll try a three and hit it. Nate Biddle with a three, and it's 12-11 Ducks. Six minutes in. 10 to shoot this trip for Gonzaga. They turn it over. Back comes Oregon on a fast break opportunity and a rejection. Huff with a rejection. And this fast pace brings us finally to our first time out at the 13:52 mark of the first half. Oregon and Gonzaga in Portland. Early 1-point lead for the Ducks, 12-11. So I was late jumping on here from a prior game I was doing, but I was going to say Gonzaga coming into this game 11-1, ranked 7th in the AP poll. Gonzaga's only loss of the season so far this year was to Michigan, an undefeated team. That was by 40 in that tournament over Thanksgiving, that tournament where Michigan just blew out all three opponents they played out there in Vegas, the Players Era tourney. Gonzaga has won 4 in a row since that point. They followed up that Michigan loss with an absolute thumping of Kentucky. Defeated UCLA last Saturday. This is the final non-conference game for Gonzaga. They resume next Sunday with conference play the rest of the way. And meanwhile, for Oregon, they're coming in this game with a 6-5 record. So a little bit of a slow start to the season for the Ducks. They started out 4-0 before losing their next 5. They have bounced back with back-to-back wins over UC Davis and Portland. But mired in that 5-game losing streak for Oregon was 2 ranked losses to Auburn and to USC in conference play. They also lost to UCLA, so not only is Oregon 6-5 overall, they're 0-2 in the Big Ten. They have one more non-conference game coming up next Sunday at home against Omaha, and then they pick up Big Ten play the rest of the way after that. So 12-11 Oregon here, 13:52 remaining in the first half. We'll run down some other scores across the country as this game goes on. One final, Michigan has beat LaSalle 102-50, so Michigan goes to 11-0 on the season. Got another Big Ten undefeated team in action later, number 15, Nebraska, looking to go to 12-0. They host North Dakota. As we are down to 6 unbeaten teams, Iowa State, one of those unbeaten teams, ranked 4th. They're out to a 12-2 start tonight over Long Beach State. After the timeout, a hook shot inside is good for Biddle, so that gives him 5, and Oregon leads by 3. A quick 3 at the other end is an air ball by Graham Ike, and out of bounds it goes back to Oregon. Ducks bring it up the floor. Shellstad with it. Over to Kwame Evans Jr. And the Ducks back outside and will reset. Lindsay with it. 10 on the shot clock. Bounce pass over to Kwame Evans Jr. Evans backing his way in, lost the ball. Gonzaga on a steal. Adam Miller with it for Gonzaga. Braden Smith. Back over to Miller. Miller for three. Got it. Adam Miller with the three-pointer. And that ties this game at 14. Gonzaga 4 for 6 from three-point range in the early going. Back come the Ducks. Into Biddle. Biddle puts it up off the front rim short. Rebound to Braden Smith of Gonzaga. Zags look to retake the lead. Smith gives it off, and now the Zags reset. Ike, who just airballed his prior three, thought about it again, but passed it up. And the shot is short. Rebound pulled down by Nate Biddle. It's already 5 rebounds for Biddle to go along with his 7 points, so he's well on his way to a double-double. Nice pass inside to Biddle from Kwame Evans Jr., and Biddle gets the layup. He's got 9. At the other end, Gonzaga with the answer of a three-pointer to take the lead, 17-16. Quick pace between these two teams. On the drive, no good. Rebound Gonzaga. Braden Smith all the way, missed the shot, however, but he is fouled. And he will head to the line following the under 12 timeout. 17-16 for the 7th-ranked Gonzaga over Oregon. 11.5 to play. First half in Portland. Run down the rest of the top 25 scoreboard. Number 5, UConn was in a battle with DePaul in the first half, but they have pulled away in the second half. UConn leads that game now 58-41 with 7.5 minutes to play. Finals from earlier, number 23, Florida, 90-60 over Colgate. Number 13, Vanderbilt stays undefeated. They beat Wake Forest 98-67. Number 16, Alabama, 92-81 over Kennesaw State. Alabama moves to 9-3. Number 20, Tennessee, 94-52 over Gardner-Webb. And I told you number 2, Michigan just destroyed LaSalle, 102-50. Number 1, Arizona, the number 1 team in the country. They are in action tomorrow at home against Bethune-Cookman. Also have a game that I will have on my live stream tomorrow night, the bragging rights game in St. Louis between number 18 Illinois and Missouri. I will be on the live stream for that game tomorrow night. The annual rivalry game between Missouri and Illinois. So looking at this game, Gonzaga 6 for 12 from the floor. They are 5 for 7 from three-point range. Red hot from 3 right now at 71%. Oregon 7 of 15 from the floor, 47%. They're 2 for 6 from 3 at 33%. Early rebound edge for the Ducks, 8-6. Both teams have turned it over twice. Gonzaga's 5 3-pointers. They only average about 7.5 made threes in a whole game on average this year. So they're well on pace to be over that. So Gonzaga will be at the free throw line here out of the timeout. Tyon Grant Foster heading to the line for Gonzaga for 2. First is up and good. One more coming for Tyon Grant Foster. Short on the second. Rebound to Oregon. 2-point lead for Gonzaga. Gonzaga putting a little pressure on here. And Oregon just banned. I don't think they did not get it up before the 10-second count. So that's the third turnover for the Ducks as Gonzaga threw some pressure there. And Oregon didn't get up the floor before the 10-second count. Gonzaga to inbound from half court. In it comes to Braden Smith. Smith finds Tyon Grant Foster. Grant Foster on the drive with the right hand, too strong, but the offensive putback is good. That's Braden Huff with the putback. He's got 7, and the Gonzaga lead is 4, 20-16. Oregon trying to get a bucket here. On the drive, right hand hook is short. Rebound Gonzaga. Gonzaga looking to add to their 4-point lead this trip. Adam Miller with it on the outside. Miller gets it to Smith. And the turn, that's too strong. Rebound to Oregon. And inside, and a nice feed and a dunk. Wee Lin finds Sean Stewart under the basket for the slam dunk. And it's 20-18 Gonzaga. Tyon Grant Foster sends it outside. Here's a three-pointer on the way and good. The 6-3 of the half for Gonzaga. This is Braden Smith hitting this three, and the lead is 5, 23-18. At the other end, Oregon trying to answer with a three, cannot. But an offensive rebound for the Ducks, and then it is thrown out of bounds. It will go to Gonzaga. Fourth turnover for Oregon. Gonzaga ball up 5. Braden Smith with it. Smith, the bounce pass inside. Turnaround. The wild shot goes down and one for Braden Huff. He just turned around and threw that up there, got it to go, and gets the foul. And Braden Huff going to the line to complete the three-point play. That's the second foul on Sean Stewart. Braden Huff averaging 19 points a game. He's already got 9 in this one. And make it 10 as he hits the free throw to complete the three-point play. And all of a sudden, Gonzaga's taken an 8-point lead here, 26-18. Oregon to bring it up the floor as we near the 9-minute mark here in the first half. And now a double team. Stewart needs help, gets it to Lin. Three-point shot on the way, around and out. Rebound Gonzaga. They look for a double-digit lead this trip. Open three, no, off the front rim. Rebound to Oregon. Lin with the ball for Oregon. Draws a double team on the outside, gives it off now to Biddle. Biddle will try a long-range three, and Biddle hits a three. That's a dozen in the half for Nate Biddle, and Gonzaga turns it over. as they tried to get a fast break going. Gonzaga's third turnover of the half. Nice pass inside to Biddle from Evans. 14 for Biddle in the half. And that's a quick 5 for Oregon. Timeout, Mark Few and Gonzaga. As Oregon's gone on a quick 5-0 run here in about 20 seconds. Gonzaga lead trimmed to 3, 26-23 with 8:17 remaining in the first half. Gonzaga at 50% shooting. Oregon's up to 48%. But the red-hot three-point shooting for Gonzaga, they're 6 for 9. Oregon 3 for 9 from behind the arc. Next games for both these teams. Gonzaga will be in action next Sunday. They open conference play at Pepperdine. Oregon, as I mentioned earlier, has one more non-conference game before resuming Big Ten play. That is next Sunday night at home against Omaha. Oregon already off to an 0-2 start in Big Ten play with losses to USC and UCLA. Trying to right the ship here as Oregon's won back-to-back games following that 5-game losing streak, which followed a 4-0 start to the season. Gonzaga's led by Braden Huff's 10 points here in the first half. 6 apiece for Steele Venters and Adam Miller. 3 out of Braden Smith and a point from Tyon Grant Foster. Oregon's led by Nate Biddle's 12 first half points. 3 points for Jackson Shellstad and 2 points apiece for Sean Stewart, Kwame Evans Jr., Takai Simpkins, and Desrick Lindsay. Be Gonzaga ball out of the timeout. Leading by 3. Both being led by veteran head coaches Mark Few in his 27th year at Gonzaga. And on the other side, Dana Altman in year 16 at Oregon. Gonzaga ball. Braden Huff with it. Gives it off for a 3-point shot that's off the front rim, and it's rebounded by Oregon. That was Innocente that missed the three-pointer. Biddle, who's done it all for Oregon here in the first half almost. Jamari Phillips back in the game, has it now. Biddle will try another 3. That one airmailed, and out of bounds it goes to Gonzaga. Gonzaga with it. Huff with it now. Steele Venters back to Huff. Gonzaga working it around the arc, now driving inside. Gets the pull-up jumper. That's short. Rebound to Oregon. Biddle over in the corner, now backing it outside, is Lynn. Lynn throws up a wild shot but gets fouled. Lynn will head to the line for 2 for Oregon. Foul whistled against Braden Huff. That's 2 on him. So Gonzaga's leading scorer, Braden Huff, with his second foul. Wee Lin to the line for Oregon. First of two is good. One more coming for Lin as Huff has to go to the bench with 2 fouls for Gonzaga. Lin hits them both and brings Oregon within 1. The Ducks are on a 7-0 run. Working it around the corner, a 3 in the corner, no good. Offensive rebound for Gonzaga, and it's knocked out of bounds by Oregon. It will stay with the Zags. 6:55 to play first half. Gonzaga inbound. Venters with it on the outside. Venters now driving and kicks it out for an open 3 that misses off the back rim. Rebound to Oregon. A deep 3-pointer on the way is good. The run now 10-0 for Oregon. That was a deep one from Takai Simpkins. Ducks back in front, 28-26. Gonzaga looking to stop this Oregon run. Inside it goes, off the glass, as no good, but Graham Ike is fouled and will head to the line for 2. Two free throws here for Graham Ike. First of 2 is good. That will stop the 10-0 Oregon run. Ike has one more coming. Second free throw for Ike is also good. That will tie this game at 28. We've hit 6 minutes to play in this first half. With it on the outside here is Takai Simpkins. Simpkins now driving. Simpkins gets inside and gets fouled. Foul's going to go against Jaden Worley. It'll send Takai Simpkins to the line. First free throw is good. One more coming for Simpkins to extend the lead to 2 for Oregon. Well, that's going to be a lane violation against Oregon as Shellstad jumped in the lane a little quick. 29-28 Ducks. Runner inside the paint for Gonzaga, no good. Rebound pulled down by Oregon. Up the floor and across midcourt come the Ducks. Pass underneath and off the glass, too strong, but a foul is called on Gonzaga, and that will send Kwame Evans to the line. Jalen Worley just picked up his second foul. So Huff and Worley, 2 fouls apiece for Gonzaga, and Kwame Evans heads to the line. 13.5-point score this year, hits the first. Gives him 3 now. Trying to make it 4 with the second free throw. And does. 31-28 Oregon. Final 5:20 of the first half. This is Ike inside with it against Biddle. Ike goes around Biddle and has it blocked. Gonzaga retrieves the loose ball. St. Superi with it on the outside. And that's going to be a violation. That's a double dribble, I think. Yep. Gonzaga turns it over. Lynn with it on the outside for Oregon. Off it goes to Kwame Evans Jr. Back over to Lynn. Inside to Evans. Evans outside. Open three-pointer. No. In the corner. Rebound to Ike of Gonzaga. Ike. Now driving in. Inside with the left hand. The shot goes for Graham Ike. 31-30. Oregon by 1. But inside to Biddle. He'll get the layup underneath. On a great pass. Biddle with 14 in the half. 33-30 Oregon. Innocente finds Ike. Ike from the foul line. Jumper no good. Rebound Oregon. Ike just 1 for 6 from the floor now here in the first half. Biddle with it. And on the drive, we have a foul. This is before the shot. Team foul number 5 on Gonzaga, first on Emmanuel Innocente. 3:34 to play first half. Oregon 33-30 over Gonzaga. Gonzaga's down to 38% shooting on 10 of 26. They are 50% from three-point range at 6 for 12. Oregon shooting at 48%, 12 of 25. They are 4 for 12 from three-point range. Oregon leading the rebound edge, 17-13. Both teams have turned it over 4 times. A 14-point first half for Nate Biddle of Oregon on 6 for 10 shooting. Braden Huff leading the way for Gonzaga with 10. Jackson Shellstad, the leading scorer on the year for Oregon, averaging a little over 16 points a game. He's been held to 3 here in the first half. Meanwhile, for Gonzaga, of course, Braden Huff, their leading scorer, averaging 19 a game. He's already halfway to that. As Oregon leads at 33-30 with 3.5 to play, just over 3.5 to play here in the first half. From Portland, number 5, Oregon about to close out DePaul with under a minute left. UConn leading that game 70-52. Number 4, Iowa State up 35 in the first half on Long Beach State, 48-13. There's still 4 minutes left in the first half. So following the timeout, it'll be Oregon ball. 5 team fouls for Gonzaga in the first half, 4 for Oregon. And Oregon to inbound out of the timeout. Good crowd on hand at the Moda Center in Portland. Here's the inbound to Biddle. Biddle against Ike. Finds a man in the corner. That's a long 2, and it's good. The assist that time from Biddle, and Oregon leads by 5, 35-30. Nice pass inside to Ike, and he gets fouled. Ike will head to the line for 2 for Gonzaga. This foul's going to go on Kwame Evans Jr. Team foul number 5 for Oregon, and to the line goes Graham Ike. For Gonzaga. First of 2 up and good. He's got 5 now. One more free throw coming. Second free throw is good. 35-32 Ducks. I think I've been getting the pronunciation of his name wrong. I think it's actually pronounced Ike. It is. Apologies. Oregon with it down the outside. 3 to shoot. Biddle's going to have to launch a long 3-pointer, and it barely drew any iron. And the rebound pulled down by Gonzaga. And turning the ball over is Gonzaga for the 5th time in the first half. Ball goes back over to Oregon. A turnover for Oregon. Back comes Gonzaga, and a layup is good. And it's a 1-point game, 35-34. And the Ducks turn it actually take a timeout. They were about to turn it over, but they got a timeout called. With that last basket, Miller with a great feed underneath to tie on Grant Foster to get Gonzaga within 1 at the 2:18 mark of the first half. Good competitive first half, as we expected. Do want to mention at halftime, folks, I'm going to be pausing the live stream for about 10, 11 minutes. Be back right before the start of the second half, run down some first half stats and what should be an exciting second half between Gonzaga and Oregon. In case you missed some other sports news outside of college basketball, the NCAA Women's Volleyball National Championship match was today. And the Aggies of Texas A&M with a 3-0 shutout of Kentucky. So the Texas A&M Aggies are your 2025 NCAA Women's Volleyball National Champions. So congratulations to the Aggies. Off the timeout, the Ducks inbound. With it on the outside is Shellstad. He'll back his way out. He's the leading scorer for Oregon, but it's been held to 3 here in the first half. Lindsey turns it over. He got kind of caught in no man's land. And a 3-pointer at the other end is swished by Adam Miller. And Gonzaga back in front, 37-35. 100 seconds to play in the first half. And Oregon just turned it over again. Simpkins tried to find Evans Jr. under the basket, but the pass a little bit too far to his left, and Evans couldn't get it. And Oregon turns it over for the 7th time in this first half. Gonzaga brings it up the floor. Out just across midcourt. Braden Huff on the outside finds Braden Smith. And a three-pointer on the way, around and off. And that is knocked out of bounds off Gonzaga. It'll go over to Oregon. Evans to inbound for the Ducks underneath the Gonzaga basket. Final minute, first half. And a three for the lead back, short. Offensive rebound by Biddle, and the putback goes 16 and a half for Nate Biddle. And that ties the game at 37. Bounce pass. Ike is stripped, getting the loose ball, but missing the shot is Grant Foster, and Oregon knocks it out of bounds. It's going to stay with Gonzaga. Ike might have been. They showed the replay of that missed shot in the basket. Ike may have been fouled under the basket, but there was no call. Pull-up jumper is good. Braden Smith with the jumper, and it's 39-37 Gonzaga. Shot clock is off. Oregon can run this down for the final shot of the first half. Down to 15 seconds. Shellstad just standing at midcourt, now dribbling to his left. Now coming right, now driving inside. Jumper just beyond the foul line is good for Shellstad to tie it at 39. Gonzaga has one last heave, and this shot is good if it goes, and it does. Tyon Grant Foster with a shot at the buzzer to give Gonzaga the halftime lead. Shellstad slipped on his way back down the floor. That's why Gonzaga had an extra player. And Tyon Grant Foster hits a three at the first half buzzer. 42-39 at the half. Number 7 Gonzaga leading Oregon in a doozy in Portland between these two teams. Again, folks, going to briefly pause the live stream right here. Be back here in about 10, 11 minutes or so, right before the start of the second half. Run down the first half stats and get ready for what should be an exciting second half between Gonzaga and Oregon. Brief pause.